Hello, everyone. It's Stefan from IntoBridge again. Another week without Larry and Michael. I'm sorry about that. Life is not perfect, but we've got your favorite Danny Miles, those of you who play on IntoBridge regularly. Your favorite celebrity, who I'm sure has made many of you at least slightly better players with his thoughtful comments during the Daily Celebrity Challenge. Hi, Danny. Thank you for coming again.
Hi, everyone. Of course, anytime.
And as usual, we're gonna look at the rankings first, say well done to the best performers, and then look at each hand individually. So first is Jairash J Hedge from Texas, I believe, if I remember correctly. Uh, well done, 72.8%. He was leading and he kept his lead, so well done to him. Second is Michael Mikkelsen. We don't know where Michael is from, but if you are here in this call, you can tell us about yourself. Almost as good as the first place, still 72, but half a percent below on 8 boards. That's really nothing. It's much less than a single trick. So I guess it's painful to you, but still silver medal is good enough. Congrats. And third place for fourth game. I'm pretty sure this is not your name, because if it was, that would have been quite amazing. By the way, my surname is Korchev, and in Bulgaria, it's exactly like a part score, so I have a bridge surname. So fourth game, I don't, sorry, apologize for my ignorance, but I don't know where this flag is from. So maybe we can see the large Paraguay. Okay, this sounds like a real profile. Anyway, well done to the top three and to everyone who played. And now we're gonna look at each of the hands. So board one, what happened? We have some part scores in clubs mostly. So let's focus on something like this, 3 clubs making. Some people made an over trick. So here we see a normal 1 club opener with 12 points for in the majors. You open your longer minor, or if you play short club, you open 1 club anyway. 1 heart over call with 14 count, quite normal. And then 2 hearts, which is good raise in clubs, 10 or more points. In the United Kingdom, they call it unassuming cubit. I'm not sure how is it in North America, Danny.
Yeah, exactly. Just a Q-bid showing a limit raise or better.
So it's not unassuming qubit.
No, we
Okay,
we
so it's
assume
slightly
that you
different.
have
You
support. Yeah.
you assume, okay. In the UK, they know it, but they don't assume it. Okay, so next person is Pass, of course, with this weekend and Singleton Heart. And North beats 3 clubs, which is a general sign-off. Here, another option is to beat 2-no Trump, which shows a weak no Trump. Some people may play it as showing stopper. I personally don't. Mostly with 13-14, I beat 2-no Trump, and with 11-12, I may beat 3 clubs, but everybody has different opinion here. The most important thing is, although this is not a specific very tough convention, you still need to have agreements what is forcing and what is shown here. Danny, what is your opinion in this sequence about the North's bit over 2 hearts?
I like this auction that we're seeing. I think this is the normal perfect auction. Generally, partners should have most of the time 5 clubs to support you here. Otherwise, they're going to be able to bid something else. Sometimes they only have 4, and usually with a weak no trump as North, you want to bid no trump at the cheapest level at your first opportunity, which is usually your rebid, your first rebid. But your heart spots are not good. Even if I had like the 10 fourth of hearts, I may be more tempted. But it's perfectly reasonable to bid 2-no with a balanced hand. I wouldn't bid 2 spades, however. That would show a stronger hand. Even though you have 4 of them, remember your partner is denying 4 spades by bidding 2 hearts over 1 heart. Priority number 1 is for the south hand, the responder, to show a major, to make sure you don't miss your 4 forfeit. So 2-no Trump, I wouldn't argue too much with, but I think more mainstream would be a 3-club rebid by North, and then that's just going to end the auction. Nobody has anything else to say. And the
Yeah,
question is, if North bids 2-no trump, should South pass or should South pull to 3 clubs? And I don't know the answer. Looking at the results, we can see that 2-no trump makes 2 and 3 clubs makes 3. So clubs plays better, but no trump pays more. So it's a silly game we play called match points, and that would be sort of the only thing drawing me to 2-no trump as opposed to 3 clubs. Because if you're going to make 2-no trump, it's probably going to be a very good score. But I'd be very worried, especially with a doubleton diamond. They don't always lead hearts. They may have the diamond suit. So I don't know. But I think this auction was what you'd find at most tables in a typical North American style club game.
I generally agree. I still insist that with 13, 14, I always beat 2-0 without a stopper, but this doesn't have to be how you guys play, and it's totally fine. But you made a great point here, actually, that I even didn't think about it, because when you are so much into it, you don't consider the bad stuff sometimes. But you made that great point. 2 spades will be a wrong bit because it will show a much better hand. And when you have ace, king, queen, fourth, it's really against any
It's
sensible
tempting. It's tempting. Yeah.
it's like, why do you play bridge if you don't beat ace king queen fourth twice and you beat your king third twice? But this is how bridge is played, and because you cannot possibly have a fit in spades, that's why it's considered that this bit shows a stronger hand, and it's not a bit you should make. So moving forward with the play, I don't think
And
there
and
is.
two spades. We
Yeah.
just had a question in the chat. If North did bid 2 spades, yes, that would be forcing to game. That should show, because you don't have a spade fit, and opener's responder has to go back to 3 clubs at the 3 level for sure. That would show extra values, and would be forcing to game opposite a limit raise for sure. I
Yep.
think the only 2 bids that are passable by North would be 2-no trump and 3 clubs. Everything else is forward going and should be game.
Definitely, I agree with you on that. About the play, I don't see anything special, but maybe we can have a quick look.
No, I think it's pretty straightforward.
I think some people, very few made 130, and some people, I mean, the defense, it's not clear what you should play because there are so many missing cards on this auction. You don't know if the player has diamonds or spades. But my point is, if you let the Leah East to, in this case, Leah, the East player to play hearts, 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 for South is very tough to make a decision. Is it roughing or is it not? But you should now. This is a specific technique called loser over loser. So I'll overtake the play to show you. Or maybe, Danny, you can explain that technique better.
Yeah, there's situations where, based on the bidding or the carding, you kind of know that you're going to get over roughed. And if you have an opportunity to discard a loser in a different suit that you're going to lose anyway, it sometimes pays to do that instead, because then, in this case, on the 4th heart, it may pay to discard something if you were going to lose that trick anyway. And then your partner, or the dummy, or I guess the North hand in this case, would be able to rough the next heart. So you're actually just trading a trick for a trick, but you're going to end up coming out ahead, because if you rough and it gets over roughed, you still have that other loser. So you're losing both those tricks. Whereas if you pitch, you're only just losing that one trick. So I guess we could probably see it here if Leah plays 3 rounds of hearts. And then on the 4th heart, we have the option to rough with a little card. If we do that, our spots are so terrible that West is going to over rough, and we're later still going to lose a diamond. We can throw 1 diamond away on the spade, but we're still going to lose a diamond. So another way of looking at this is, we could rough with the ace or the queen, and we know that's going to win the trick. Unfortunately, though, that is almost for sure going to set up a trick for their jack. Right? We would have to get very lucky for that not to happen. So what we might do instead is recognize that we're able to throw away a diamond, and then we're able to throw away our other diamond on our 3rd spade in the dummy, because we have 3 spade winners. So in that case, we're only going to lose basically 4 heart tricks, and we're going to have the rest of the tricks. So if we go through the play in our minds, if they play 3 rounds of hearts and then a 4th heart, if we rough low, they're going to over rough. That's 4 tricks for them, and we still have to lose a diamond. So it's just something to keep in mind that when you know you're going to get over roughed, keep your eyes open that, hey, maybe if I throw away a loser instead, I may end up, breaking even. Whereas if I rough and get over roughed, I'm losing both of those tricks. So hopefully that kind of is clear.
So I cannot hear that some people, knowing that they'll be over roughed, they rough with the ace, because on the right it's the overcall, so they assume longer clubs here with West and take club finesse. You can see that both of those won't work. Roughing low is over roughed, roughing high promotes the jack. Here, Larry and Michael have selected a very interesting hand, because normally when teachers teach loser over loser, we do it in a more lazy way, that there is an obvious loser here. On this hand, it's not immediate, because it has 2 components. One loser goes on the spades and one goes on the hearts. So it's slightly deeper, but normally you should know that whatever you see in the books, the real game, the real problem is very close to it, but sometimes you need to improvise. So learning those patterns, as Danny said, when you're about to be overwrapped, better look for some losers to throw. And in match point specifically, now this hand is a teaching hand, so it's rewarded that if you get it right, you make it. But sometimes you need to make a concession for down 1 instead of down 2. And you can still get a top, because you only compare to everybody else. So making the contract itself is not the primary task here. Let's make it. It's not like playing Kims in a teams competition or Rims pairs tournament. So even if it's about going just 1 off instead of 2 off, it's still worth it. So be open-minded when similar thing comes to the table. And with this, I believe we can move to the next hand. I don't see the chat. Are there any questions, Danny?
No, we've got it covered. All
The
good.
explanations are so good that nobody has any questions. Thank you, guys. You can write an email to Larry after this to say that these guys are really good at what they're doing, or not. So number 2, everybody is in 3-0, and they make between 7 and 11 tricks. This looks like a club game. When I was playing it, the clubs in England, we would often see such a scorecard. Let's go for something in the middle, which is 3-0 trump, making 9 tricks. So here East opens 1-0 with 16 flat points, quite normal pass, and then 10 points by West, 3-0, quite straightforward auction. So let's see what is in the card play. Normally in this auction, you should lead a major, because the 3-0 trump bid denies majors unless it's the 4-3-3, which we discussed last time in length. However, most of the time, West doesn't have 4-card majors. Therefore, you and your partner combined have normally more or similar number of major cards, which is not the same with the minors, because imagine West not having 4-card majors means they have at most 6 cards in the majors, while they have at least 7 cards in the minors. So purely statistically, your partner and you should have more majors than them more often than not. Of course, there are exceptions when East has 4-4 in the majors, but theoretically, if you don't have a better idea, you should be leading a major. And that is actually not always your longest major. When you have a weak hand, you may weigh in leading a shorter major. Now, it's not the case, but sometimes if you have no points, it means that you have no connection to your hand, and it might be wiser to lead your shorter major where partner is longer and eventually has side entries. So this is a bit deep, but these are patterns you can check after each auction 1-0, 3-0, and start your own research how things go and have something interesting to follow. And if not, just enjoy the game.
It's
Danny,
just
it's
playing the percentages. Like opening leads are very difficult in terms of like being successful all the time. You may make like a bunch of opening leads in a row that don't work out, and you're like, oh, this is frustrating. I'm no good at opening leads. But that's not necessarily the case. Opening leads are simply just playing the percentages. And in Stefan's case, mentioning you're more likely to have more major cards with your partner than minor cards when it goes 1-0, 3-0. So you tend to lead a major. Now, there are exceptions, as you said, like if you were dealt on this deal, Queen Jack 10, fourth of diamonds or something, then we sort of look to the safer lead, or the lead that needs a little bit less from our partner. But in general, yeah, 1-0, 3-0, you tend to lead a major because the responder tends not to have majors. So it's just percentages. But you could run into, a bunch of deals in a row where you lead a low spade from Jack fourth, and you found Declare's 5-card spade suit, and he just takes all the tricks in that suit, and you feel silly. But that's sort of just the way it goes on opening lead. I mean, you only get to see 13 cards instead of 26 like the rest of the deal.
And this is a great information for those of you, and I'm sure those are not just a few, that love the double dummy diagram and cannot wait to finish the game and look at what was making. And when it's on an online platform, it's so easy to click the light bulb and see the best lead, which in this case is diamond. So if you do that, I guarantee you that you never learn the game of bridge, because bridge is about statistics. And although this time diamond was the right lead, I guarantee you that no expert player would ever lead a diamond on this hand. Even club looks
Correct.
more likely to open up partner's suit. So all my students, I don't have many now, but whenever I had students before, and now my student, it's only one, but she aims high, I tell her, you never ever look at the hand diagram, the double dummy analysis, because this is only on 52 cards and it has nothing to do with the game of bridge. So here on this hand, it's between heart and a spade, I believe. And personally, I would lead a spade. Daniel, what do you think about it?
Yeah, totally agree.
So one reason here is that because we have the king of hearts, that is a potential entry, especially with the 10. So playing for spades, although we have fewer points, it's still possible that we get in with the heart. So let's see how it went. I need to overtake. So a spade is led, and now Declare sees this dummy and needs to count their tricks. So having king empty opposite queen empty will normally give you one trick, but here it's possible that you get two, because if they have underled their ace of spades, you win with the queen, and later on your king is protected. So when you have this, we call it locked suit, because whoever plays it first can lose a trick, not in this case. When you have, whenever you have a locked suit, it's better if the opponents play it. So that's a good start. We need to count our tricks. We can count 4 club tricks because we are missing the ace. And that is very handy, because then we have spade, heart, and 2 diamonds, and maybe heart finesse. So this looks like a very easy contract. But there is one big devil here, and that is the communication. So East and West have maybe enough tricks to make, but the communication is very limited. What I mean is the clubs, if you play clubs and north-south duck it twice, the so-called hold-up play. If you don't know hold-up play, please, I'm pretty sure Larry has lessons on it. It's one of the main things in bridge defense and also in declare play. The hold-up play means you can win, but you decide not to win. So let's play a few cards here to demonstrate what I mean. Here, North obviously finesses the king. They wait, regardless of partner having queen or jack. We should concede a spade and then make another finesse and don't give them the king of spades. So now East wins the queen of spades and naturally starts opening the clubs. That's an absolute must, because if South has the ace of spades, then the king of spades is actually an entry, and that's a big hope. So we need to immediately knock out the clubs in order to later on get in dummy with the king of spades, maybe. Now, this hand is really about the North player. It's a defensive hand, defensive lesson, and it's about not letting Declare get to dummy and cash all these clubs. So if you look at the spade holding, you're sitting with ace 10. We are the North player now. You're sitting with ace 10 over king 8. Let me get my little pencil so I can show you better. So you can see your spades here, and they're superior to the spades in dummy. You can see the other possible entry, the jack of diamonds, a long shot, but impossible shot when you see your queen 10. So yeah, you need to duck a snort, you need to duck the club as many times as possible in order to cut the communication between the hands. So how is this done? It's very simple. We win at the last possible instance. So now we play low, they continue, they hope we've got ace double turn, but we don't have ace double turn. And now if they play a club to knock out our ace, they have no entry to the dummy. We, a snort, know that. What can Declare do now? Declare can continue with clubs, knocking out the ace and hoping king of spades is good, or alternatively to play hearts, finessing hearts and hoping to score more heart tricks. However, now it's important to count. So say you score 3 or 4 heart tricks and 2 diamonds. Three heart tricks are not enough. You need to score 4. But if you are to score 4 hard tricks, it means you have another entry to the table with the king of spades, and then you naturally have the clubs as well. So you have to count the tricks coming up when you play one suit or another and decide which will get you to 9 tricks to make your contract, or potentially in pairs contract to get to more. Danny, anything you want to add here?
Yeah, this deal is all about north-south, basically communicating in clubs to make sure that they win their ace when Declare is playing their last club. And so there's 2 aspects. Number one, of course, they want to lock out or eliminate that 5-card club suit from dummy, right? Because they're playing in no trump. They don't want to let them take all those long tricks. So they want to take their ace when Declare is out, because they know, North knows, they've got the ace of spades over the king, like Stefan said, and they've got the queen of diamonds over the jack. They're never getting back to the dummy. So South has to cooperate, and South has to provide count in clubs. It's very, very important, especially in no trump, early in the hand. If Declare is leading dummy's long suit, and you can tell that dummy is basically that long suit, and no, maybe an entry, maybe not an entry, you want to give count. So in this case, I believe they play regular count, right? So when South played the 7, right, from North's perspective, they've got ace 5-4 and the dummy's got king queen jack 10-9. North knows that the 7 must be either a singleton, in which case there's no hope anyway, or a doubleton. Because if North had 3 clubs, they would have 8-7 little, and they would make sure to signal with their smallest club. So the 7 makes it impossible for them to have 3, and therefore they must have 2 clubs. Or 1 club, and in which case that doesn't matter. Declare is going to have 4 clubs and be able to get back. So it's very important that we win the last club, the 3rd club, in order to shut it out, because we know Declare's got 3. If our partner South had followed with the 2 of clubs on the first round, showing an odd number, then we can actually win the 2nd club. And we do want to win the 2nd club if we trust our partner, because if we duck a 2nd club and win the 3rd club, we've actually let Declare score a club trick that we could have prevented them from scoring, right? Because they can't get back to the dummy. So if Declare had exactly 2 clubs, we want to win the 2nd one. And if Declare had 3 clubs, we want to win the 3rd one. So that's basically just communicating count. In no trump, it's very important when there's a long suit in the dummy that you and your partner communicate count, so you know when to win your ace.
Very well explained, Danny. So the moral here I want to add is that if you have a regular partner, you look at those situations, because normally what do we agree? We lead fourth best and standard count, reverse attitude, and maybe some of you play Smith. So that is all wonderful. but there are exceptions, and you know, bridge is a logical game. So any other signal would not make sense when dummy has no entries and long suit. Only count signal will make sense. So even if you're anti-count person, I don't respect that because I'm from Bulgaria and we only show count, but that is your choice and you can live with it. And still, those situations, even the biggest attitude people would play count because it just saves you tricks. And this is the ultimate agenda when you play bridge, to score as many tricks as possible while the opponents score fewer. So what is the theoretical position? When dummy may not have an entry to the table, but have a long solid suit, both partners are showing count, or at least the one that doesn't have the ace, in order to understand which trick to take. However, this guy with the ace also should show count because sometimes they have a short ace. So their partner needs to know if actually the declare is longer and maybe they do have the entry. So both players should show count. I think that's quite standard for most people who play attitude or count. They play count when the opponents are playing. However, those of you who play Smith, now this instance, the second card should have been a Smith signal if you play Smith. So without further agreements, this card should be Smith. But because now we said that the cutting the entry to the long suit is the most important thing, that logic overpowers the Smith. So even if you play Smith, if I sit with Danny without discussion and we say we play Smith, I bet you on this hand we'll both show count even without discussing it because
100%.
it
Yeah,
makes
for sure.
so much sense. Once you cut the dummy, it becomes fun because you are playing with declare and absolutely killing them. So if you know how many cards you have in that suit and cut the dummy out, then it all becomes a pleasure in defense. So yeah, be sure to spend time with your regular partner on this situation. These things come more often than you think. So it will definitely improve your game. And the feeling of getting it right and cutting the communication, this feeling cannot be replaced. So you'll be well rewarded emotionally, not just with match points. Okay, moving on. We've been pretty slow with these two hands, but they were very educational and these lessons can be used every day basically. So I hope you're enjoying it. Now we see here board treats all over the place between 3 spades, 4 spades, 5 spades, 4 diamonds, and 5 diamonds. Here I am 4 no trump. That's exciting. I'm not sure which one to take. Let's take the 4 spades. So South opens with a pass, 9 points, normal. 1 diamond by West with 14, quite normal. And North beats 2 diamonds, Michaels. I totally agree with this bit. To some, it may feel a bit weak, but to me, it feels wonderful because you have nice cards in both majors, 10s and 9s, nice sequence, and also the vulnerabilities in your favor. So it's a great excuse. However, just so you know, even in different vulnerability, I would still beat 2 diamonds because in modern bridge computer hands, it's often that when you have so unbalanced hands, you don't need 25 points. You need 5 forfeit and some singletons, and then you get to 10 tricks. So I totally love the 2 diamonds Michael's bit. Then East, beats 3 diamonds, which is a normal race. I agree with it. Normally, if you have a regular partner, here you need to have very good agreements what the bits mean. So 2 hearts, 2 spades, 3 clubs, and 3 diamonds are 4 bits that can mean different things. The way I play is that 2 hearts is good hand, forcing hand with clubs, 2 spades is force good race with diamonds, and 3 clubs and diamonds are non-forcing competitive. But you don't have to play like that. You need to have agreements. Those of you who want to bid asking for a stopper, it's usually wiser to double first to show points and then eventually qubit or double again. And then South bids 4 spades with the 5 card fit. That's quite normal. There is no time to wait. Even partner being quick with the 5-5 they have, we have a monster hand because the singleton heart is also essential because you can rough out all those hearts if needed, and partner only has 3 cards in the minors. So good players often imagine what partners got, and I imagine my partners got king of spades and nothing else, and I lose 3 minor cards. So definitely 4 spades is a great bid. I would even consider something like 4 diamonds followed by 4 spades a good raise, because if partner has more than nothing, slam is also possible. But don't ever think about bidding only 3 spades as some of you did. So then 5 diamonds, I think it's quite risky. Some people have bidded vulnerable against the so-called stupid race. Stupid not because it's stupid, but because it doesn't show much. It's just to hear your voice. So 5 diamonds can be quite risky. But I'll let Danny speak more about this auction and hear his input.
For sure, yeah. So I love the 2 diamond bid, just like you. You've got great intermediates in your suit, not vulnerable. Your partner's a passed hand, so the opponents have more points than you do. You know, you want to get in there because you may have a great sacrifice over, you know, you want to compete to the 3 of a major over 3 diamonds or 3 clubs. You may want to, your partner may want to bid 4 of a major over 3 no trump, which we might have been making. So it's very good to get those majors in there, both suits in one bid at a low enough level. It's going to be extremely difficult for the opponents to double you because you've got good intermediates in your suit. So your opponent isn't going to be staring at like 4 trump tricks or anything like that. And you're not vulnerable and they are vulnerable. So it's going to make it a lot tougher for them. Let's say it goes 2 diamonds and the next hand bids 2 of a major to show like a limit raise or better or something like that. And then the south hand jumps to, not today, but on a different deal, the south hand jumps to 3 spades. Now the opponents have no idea. They don't know if they have a spade stopper or not, or a heart stopper, and they're jammed for room, and they have to sort out whether they want to double you for +1, plus 100, or try 3 no, which may look silly if they don't have a stopper, or bid 4 diamonds and miss 5 diamonds, or bid 5 diamonds and go down 1. So you can take up a lot of room with this Michael's bid to show your 2 suits and try to catch a fit with partner. As Stefan said, the East hand is a bit of a tricky hand. I don't mind 3 diamonds. Your Queen of Spades is probably a useless card, so 3 diamonds is probably fine. As mentioned in the chat, I actually don't mind opening the West hand 1 no trump. You're balanced. You have 14. You can upgrade for the long suit. So I know people don't like having little doubletons when they open 1 no trump, but I think in the modern game, anytime you're 15 to 17 balanced, and that includes a 6-card minor, 1 no trump just makes your auctions a lot easier. And it's hard to know what would actually happen today over 1 no trump. I mean, North, are they strong enough to come in showing the majors? Maybe. But generally, when you come in directly, you kind of want to, have your values or have your bid. If you're in the balancing seat and it goes 1 no trump, pass, that's different. Then with shape, you can bid on less high cards. So yeah, I don't know what would happen over 1 no trump. Certainly East would bid Stamen, and they may just arrive in 3 no trump, and you can take the whole spade suit. So it's hard to know what actually works out, but certainly the Michael's bid worked out quite well. And as Stefan said, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry,
I was going to say,
no, I just wanted to disagree with you about something. So I'm sure some people might be taking notes. And this thing about 6-card minor opening 1 no trump, it's one of the most asked questions by learners.
Gotcha.
So Danny is saying 1 no is good because you can upgrade your hand and it's totally upgradable. I'm not worried about any weak doubletons. I just have slightly different position. When my diamonds are as good, I feel that I have too many tricks and I prefer to open 1 diamond and upgrade to 3 diamonds rather than bidding 1 no. So when I have an empty suit, maybe with 1 honor, then I definitely open 1 no because the value of the long suit is much lower. But if you look at this, only ace of hearts and queen of diamonds can be enough to make a game unless they cash too many spades.
True.
So my position, and this is not universal at all, many people don't play like that. I see now the best players in the world open 1 no trump literally with any hand, possible or impossible. So maybe they know better. But for learners, I would suggest my style is to open with good diamonds 1 and then upgrade to 3. Otherwise, I open one no, because after all, it's a big source of tricks if partner has some intermediate cards or length, and if they don't, they know that this suit won't really work. So now, Danny, I interrupted you, and I'm really
No problem.
sorry, but we have no time. I mean, we have time, a lot
Yeah,
of time,
let's
but people will leave us.
keep it
I
going for
just
sure.
checked Larry's notes, and Larry's notes are actually about defense, and West has to beat 5 diamonds. So it's a bit aggressive, but it's not the end of the world. So what is the defensive problem here? So Leonard has an opening lead problem. They can lead a spade. The problem with the spade lead is the opponents don't have that many of them. So playing for spades cannot possibly defeat the construct. We should look for other tricks. And leading from Queen, Jack, 10, 9 of hearts, it's quite normal. So I don't suggest that this is definitely the lead, but for this lesson to work, North needs to lead the Queen of Hearts. So this is what we're gonna do. So here we're looking for South's point of view. They have to win the lead, and now they have to come up with a good defense. So Danny, can you explain here what should be the thought process, please?
Totally, absolutely. So we know from the opening lead that Declare's got the King of Hearts, and we want to get our partner in and play more hearts and get a ruff. And we need 3 tricks to defeat 5 diamonds. We know we've got 2 aces, so we need that third trick. And we know our partner almost for sure doesn't have a diamond trick. And if they do, it's not going anywhere. We're going to get it. And Declare almost certainly has the ace of clubs as well, just from a point count point of view, right? Ace, king of diamonds, king of hearts is only 10 points. They're going to have the ace of clubs. And so we can see that Declare is going to have a bunch of tricks when they get in, right? So we could cash our 1 spade, and that'll hold Declare to 11 tricks. But we want to try and defeat the contract and do so, safely without giving up another trick. We see we just need to get our partner in to give us a heart ruff. So the best way to get our partner in, and it's not 100%, but it's a very, very good chance, is to lead a spade to partner, under lead our ace of spades, because we need partner to gain the lead and be able to go back to hearts. So I like, leading a high-ish spade to kind of say to partner, I actually don't really like spades, or give suit preference for please return the higher suit, hearts. Either of those situations works here. And the key is that when partner wins the king of spades, the dummy has a singleton. And so partner might think, wow, I won the king of spades. That's sort of strange, because if Declare had the ace of spades, they would have played it because the dummy has a singleton. So you've got alarm bells have to start ringing in your head. My goodness, my partner has the ace of spades and was staring at a singleton and didn't cash the ace of spades. They went out of their way to take a big risk to play a spade for me to win my king. What's going on? What does that mean? And there's only one possible answer on this deal, and that is that we have to continue hearts. And partner's either going to rough it, or, if they happen to not rough it, it's not the end of the world. We're knocking out Declare's king, but we have a pretty strong suspicion that partner's going to be roughing this. And that's basically it. That's
That's
how
it.
we defend 5
Yes,
diamonds.
I just want to add that some people less experienced I've played, sometimes they win the king and they're just very happy they did that. It feels they
Yeah.
shouldn't, but there is just pure happiness out of it. But guys, there is a message. Things you don't get lucky by chance in bridge most of the time. Your partner is trying to do something, or Declare has no clue about the game. So which one is more likely? If Declare has no clue, happy days. And if partner is trying to tell us something, we should think, what is it? So here everybody sees the singleton on the table. So purely logically, playing suit preference here, that's a bit advanced, I know, is quite normal. However, partner would always work out. If we had the ace of clubs, we could cash it. So why are we doing all that to underlead the ace? Even if you play the 2 of spades, they should play a heart. But just to make sure, playing higher spade might be even more obvious to partner. And now we are moving to board 4, where most of you were in 3-0 with not the same success. So I'm going for something in the middle once again. And here the auction is 1 diamond by North. How many points they have? 10, 18 points totally. 1-0 trump would be, it's too good for 1-0 trump with the 5-card suit. I know some of you are lazy and prefer to open 1-0 with 18, but don't do that, please, with this hand. I'm lazy, I open 1-0, but with 4-3-3, some stupid hands with 5 good diamonds. Don't do that. South bits 1 heart, quite normal. North bits 2-0, which shows 18, 19, and South closes the auction in 3-0. Personally, I would overcall 1 spade with this hand. I'm sure that I'm committing a sin now, and if Larry watches this, he will be crazy to teach his guys to overcall with 5 points. But if you have a license, it's not forbidden, because any other lead is not great for you, and spade can be a great lead. So here, after you've passed, your partner has passed, it seems you're gonna lose the auction. So bidding for the opening lead is something that experts do. I personally would bid 1 spade. If I lose 1100, I will apologize to my partner, but if he is good enough, I hope he will forgive me. Danny, what do you think about that?
Yeah, 1 spade is certainly not the worst bid I've ever seen, for sure. I could go either way. Yeah, I mean, 1 spade, you're basically just sticking your neck out to try to get the lead that you want, really the only lead you can stand. And it's not necessarily about competing or defeating 3-0 trump. It's just getting the lead you want. And occasionally, that comes with risk. And of course, yeah, occasionally partner will raise you and they'll double you and you go minus 800, or the north hand will have ace jack 10 4th of spades in a good hand, and they'll be able to double you, and you'll go minus 800. But 1 spade gets the message across that you need that lead. Like, partner has king queen 3rd of clubs and jack 3rd of spades, and they choose to lead a club against 3-0, and you just a spade would have been much better. So you do these things risk reward, and definitely the reward is there for bidding a spade, for sure.
Yep. Thank you for not saying it's absurd. I felt you're going to do that. Now in 3-0 trump, we can talk about various leads, but to follow Larry's lesson, we'll go with one of the most trendy ones. Even if you didn't overcall 1 spade with West, he still leads jack of spades to make Declare's life more difficult. So the previous hand, or the hand before rather, we discussed the mighty hold-up play in defense. Now we're gonna discuss the mighty hold-up play in declare play. Maybe you're seeing a similar pattern. I told you they're not always the same, but they look alike, and if you're open-minded, you'll see them. So if you remember, on board 2, 1 hand had king, queen, jack, 10, 9 of clubs. Now we are missing them all. They're not the same way, but still the damage can be the same. So the hold-up play, we duck twice the spade to eventually cut the communication in spades and not allow them to take more spades. So here I'm just playing spades randomly, and then we're gonna talk more about it. So after we've done the hold-up play, we need to count out, maybe before that we should count our tricks, but as I did it already, you have 5 diamonds, 1 spade, and 2 more aces is 8 tricks, so you need 1 more at least. Why did I do the hold-up play and then started counting? Just by habit. I know I don't have 12, 13 tricks, and even if it's not about making 9, I'll try to make 10 or 11, and the hold-up play is essential in order to limit their communication. So sometimes just intuitively, okay, I'm not taking the first 2, I'll take the 3rd one and then see what I'm doing. So this was my thought process. Now counting, we have 1 spade, 2 aces, and 5 diamonds. That's 8 tricks. So how can we get more? We can do it via clubs somehow if king, queen of clubs are on side, but don't forget you don't have the 9. So as long as they're split, you can actually not make any extra tricks. But in the heart suit, even if the finesse loses, you still have this beautiful jack of hearts, which will score a trick. So the way to play this hand is, you don't have to play ace and queen because maybe the wrong hand gets in. You rather play a diamond to the dummy. You calculate your communications. I already did, and they seem good. So now we take the finesse. It loses. Now the opponents can be mean and play a diamond to cut our entry. I guess I doubt they will, but just to make it harder. So you dug that because that's your only entry for the Jack of Hearts. You win in hand, you unblock the Ace of Hearts. And now you can cross to the table and cash the mighty Jack of Hearts for your 9 trick. And then when you cross to hand, you can claim 3 out of the 4 tricks and make 9 in total, bringing home your contract. Anything you want to add, Danny, to this?
That was perfect. Yeah, you just the key to the whole hand is holding up. And a bit of a rule of thumb, which I'll give you guys, which is not, again, some hands are different. And like Stefan said, if we had like a chance at 12 or 13 tricks by grabbing the ace of spades right away, then it's a different story. But he knows he's just sort of touch and go for his contract for his 9 tricks. So holding up is just perfectly normal and totally the thing to do. What you want to do, a simple rule, sort of like the rule of 11, but and this, I sort of use this at the table sometimes, but you take your combined number of cards in the suit. So in this case, 5. We have ace third of spades opposite too little, and you subtract that from 7. So 7 minus 5 is 2. We should hold up 2 times if we can. That's a general rule of thumb, and the logic behind that rule we don't have to get into. It's just to try to lock out a 5-card suit. So if we had 3 little opposite 3 to the ace with 6 cards in the suit, we could hold up once and then win the second one. That's a general rule if we want to lock out a 5-card suit. But there's other things in the hand that might cause you to win early or to duck twice with 6 of them even. So a question,
Okay.
should West overtake the second spade and lead a club? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that only gets you to 4 tricks. But there is some justification for that because West knows that they're never getting in again, right? So I think it's reasonable to overtake the second spade. The danger of overtaking the second spade is that if your partner had Jack 10 doubleton, I guess that would leave declare ace 9 fourth, and you may run into a situation where you may actually declares 9 may actually threaten to become a trick. I don't think it will be a trick, but it may threaten to become a trick. But that is good thinking, that you may give yourself the flexibility if declare ducks again, and you're on lead and you know that you can't set up your spade suit, to potentially shift to a club. In this case, it won't matter, but that is good thinking.
It's very good thinking. I just want to share my experience from real life. Sometimes when you don't do that, because if you do that, then declare knows the whole hand. You have no entry and you are quick to switch. So normally you should do that if you really feel there is a chance to make difference, because if you keep ducking, this declare is now shaking and doesn't want to get you in and cash your card, lots of cards that are promoted, and instead they make not weird plays, but plays that are less successful. So although you don't have an entry, you and your partner maybe are the only ones who know that. And declare, who doesn't know what's going on and is scared, is a very nice declare to defend against. So don't this is good knowledge when you know you don't have an entry, but it's not at all a rule to overtake to show that you don't have an entry, because declare plays open cards afterwards. Okay, board 5, all over the place, but mostly 4 spades making. Let's have a look at this hand. South opens the club. In third seat, I like this bit. If it was obviously first or second, it's a bit over the top. But in third seat, pointing out the lead coming into the auction, I'm not against it. But if you are less experienced and you're frightened by this, if you pass, nobody will say a word to you, so totally fine to pass. Now West has a problem to either overcall the 5-card suit or double for takeout. It's mixed opinions. I like 1 diamond if I have better diamonds in case I lose the auction, so they lead. Now my majors are great. I love bidding 5-card suits, but with this hand out, rather double. Danny, what do you think about South and West?
Totally. With a 5-card major, I would virtually always overcall, unless the major was like terrible. With a 5-card diamond suit and singleton club and 4-3 in the majors, I would double every time. The game is the majors. Make sure you get all the majors in there, and don't miss a 5-3 major fit when you do have 5 of them. So 5-card major, I would tend to overcall, and with this shape, 5-card diamond suit, I would tend to just double to get all my suits into play. It's very
Oh,
hard if
yeah.
you start with double to get to a 5-3 major suit fit because your partner's never going to bid their 3-card suit.
So moving forward, North normally bids a heart, 5 cards, pretty standard. And now, I don't know why Leah chose to bid 1 spade, but I don't think that's theoretically acceptable. Normally, 1 spade is up to 7 points, and with 8 plus, you have to jump to 2 spades, especially with 5-card suit. So I believe that's a bug, and I'll report it. But assuming this is 2 spades, then West can immediately bid to 4 spades. And if it was 1 spade, this auction is totally fine, followed by 2 spades and 4 spades because we have such a monster. I was actually having a lesson today and I was explaining that there are some different laws of gravity in different aspects of the game. One universe is when you have uncontested auction and you follow your nodes with your system and everything is wonderful. This happens less and less when you play better events because they start overcalling. So that's another universe of competitive bidding. And then the other 2 universes I consider are the preemptive universe where you are bidding based on shape and the laws of gravity for high card points don't apply at all. And that's the 4th universe, development after takeout doubles. So these 2 spades doesn't just mean I have a fit. These 2 spades means a lot more than that. And it shows a good hand somewhere around 15 points. And that's why East is bidding now 4 spades. Danny, do you want to talk more about this?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think East has a good enough hand to jump to 2 spades for sure, especially since they've got the 5th spade. Having the 5th spade is huge because the takeout double doesn't necessarily have to have 4 spades, right? They could just have 3 spades to an honor, say. And so, I would like to bid 1 spade with East hand with this hand and only 4 spades. But with a 5th spade and 8 points, I would for sure jump to 2 spades. We want to compete to 2 spades anyway. If the opponents bid 2 clubs or 2 hearts, we're going to bid 2 spades anyway. May as well just get there right away. And the West hand over, partner freely bid 1 spade. They could have just passed 1 heart. So over the West hand, I think I might even bid 3 spades instead of 2 spades, to be honest. Their hand is pretty good. They have amazing spot cards. They have 4 trumps. They have a singleton in the opener's suit. Certainly, if we need a heart finesse or a diamond finesse, it rates to be on side because our right-hand opponent opened the bidding. So I might even jump to 3 spades over 1 spade because my partner took a free call. But they got to 4 spades anyway, which I think is a pretty reasonable contract. They lose 3 tricks, right?
It depends on the opening lead. If it's a hard lead, which I consider normal, yes. If it's another lead, Declare East can potentially play for diamonds, set up the diamonds as their 3-3 with ace on side, and get rid of the 2 hearts. However, hard lead is quite normal on this
Hard lead is
option.
totally normal, yeah.
But it's still coming down to 10 tricks, so life is good if you reach 4 spades. Moving forward, board 6. Let's have a look what are most of the people are in 3 spades. Let's see how this happened. So Leah opens 1 spade with 12 count. That's normal. South passes. Well done, South. I know crazy people who'd bid 3 clubs, but that's terrible. Bridge. And now 3 diamonds, which is a Bergen race. It shows 4 or more spades and an invitational hand, game try. And now, because Leah East has 12 terrible points with nothing, they bid 3 spades. The only thing I can tell you here, if you play this way, Bergen, the 3 hearts means absolutely nothing apart from I want to be in game, but I don't want to bid it because if you're complete minimum, maybe we're not good enough. Or the way I like to explain it, if you get it wrong partner, it will be your fault. So 3 hearts showed slightly more than a minimum, but this hand is absolute minimum. So 3 spades is justified. And then, Danny, do you have any comments on this auction or not?
No, so far so good. And this is actually one of the reasons that Bergen was sort of invented is when you have a 9-card fit, you want to get to the 3 level immediately. Because look what happens if you don't play Bergen and if you just play normal and it goes 1 spade, pass, and West bids 2 spades, or maybe they choose 1 no trump first and planning to jump to 3 spades later, although they would probably bid 2 spades. The North hand would make a takeout double, right? They have the unbid suits, they have an opening bid, and they have a singleton spade. And this would allow North-South to actually compete to 4 clubs if they so choose. And 4 clubs happens to make on the nose. So the par result here is actually North-South getting to 4 clubs and making it. But the Bergen raise shut out North-South. Now, North could have made a takeout double, depending on their agreements of the Bergen bid. You should talk to your partner that if your opponents play Bergen, and what I like to do is over the weaker Bergen, like usually 3 clubs, like 1 spade, 3 clubs showing like 7 or 8 points and four trumps, I like double to say I have a takeout double of spades because there's still a chance your side can make a game. And if the opponents bid the stronger Bergen, like 10, 11 points with 4 trumps, I like double to say I have that suit partner. I kind of want that suit led. So that's sort of probably a standard expert treatment. In this case, it wouldn't work because over 3 diamonds, North doesn't really want to double. I mean, they can stand a heart or a club lead, and they're never going to get to clubs, unfortunately. So the Bergen raise definitely did its job to get up to the 3 level quickly and not let the opponents into the auction. And East over the
Yes.
Bergen has a perfect 3 spade bid. They could not be more minimum. They're 5-3-3-2, and they have a bare minimum opener, so they have nothing to do other than bid 3 spades.
So as Danny said, double of 3 diamonds when it's a game try shows that suit. And if it was the weaker Bergen, when we can have game, double by North would show a takeout over spades. This is a general treatment, not only over Bergen. It happens a lot after 1 no trump opener in many other auctions. The general rule is when game is possible, double shows points and some shape takeout. While if it's not, double is that suit either aimed at sacrifice or for partner to lead it. I just want to say something about the Bergen because I just remember that I was a Bergen denier for maybe a decade, and I would love to play fit jumps and mini splinters because I'll reach game well informed and I'll happily play it because I know it makes and I know what my partner's got. I don't think there is a single player now at the top echelon that plays fit jumps or splinters in this situation. Why? Because when you bid game with some merit, they don't know the opening lead. And 3 diamonds is vague for everyone. However, the defenders really struggle because they can lead any of the 3 other suits, and that can be right or wrong. They don't know where you're short, who is short, where is the long suit, which suit not to lead. And many contracts make because of a bad lead or a bad defense, as you know very well from your experience. So giving less information means that the opponents are more likely to make a mistake. That's why generally, as a general logic, when you're going to bid a slam, you should know as much as possible, because if you're going off, you're going off most of the time. You shouldn't just bid 1-4-6. But when it's about a game, it's the other way around. Building game quickly without missing a slam and giving as little information as possible, it's great. And now the only thing I want to play is Bergen. It's my favorite convention. I absolutely love it. So have a look at it and don't be frightened that it doesn't show much. It's actually for your benefit. Moving forward to, actually, do we want to discuss the play? Not
I think the
so
play looks
much.
pretty simple. There's no
It
way to get rid of any tricks, and you're just going to lose 4 tricks.
You lose 1 of each, so you need to be careful roughing those clubs before you lose the trump control, because I saw that at one table. They cashed ace king of spades, roughed 1 club, and then when this opponent got in, they cash the last spade and then cash the club. So as a declare, if you if you made this mistake, look at it one more time. Normally, if you're not worried you'll be trumped in another suit, you should start with clubs, rough a club, and only then when you play king of spades, spade to the ace, then you have that entry to rough. I know it's a bit deep. If you didn't do it, no worries. Okay, board 7. Let's have a look at this table. So one diamond. No, let's look at another table. This option, I don't like it very much. Okay, this one, I don't like either. Okay, that one I like better. Okay, so one diamond by west, normal, north passes, and east beats 2 clubs. It's an absolute must when you're so strong to beat your longest shoot, because you're potentially in the slam zone. So following up from the previous hand, when you're aiming for game, disclose as little as possible. But when you have a good hand and slam potential, you need to say the whole picture if possible. So 2 clubs is totally great, totally right. Not one spade as I saw at some other tables. So 2 clubs bid. Now it's by agreement, but to know trump seems fairly normal. Most of the people would play that as a weak no trump or 18-19 balanced. Because jumping with 18-19 takes space away. So the normal approach with 2-0 when you have 18-19 is later on the auction, for example, partner bids 3-0 to bid 4-0 to say, oh, I'm not 12-14, I'm 18-19. But keeping the space available when nobody is bidding, not preempting you, is a really smart idea. So 2-0 trump I like. Now, again, it's a matter of agreement. I know some people bid shortages here that are more advanced, but if you're not that advanced, and I'm not personally, you just bid your second suit. It's a weak suit, but as I said, when you have a good hand, in this case 17 points, showing more shape is quite normal. It's very tempting to bid diamonds, but partner never promised 5, and although we have great diamonds, it is not representing our hand correctly. Closing in 3-0 is also not a good idea. With spades, 3 spades, you're also implying the hearts are not good, so partner, make sure you have good hearts to bid 3-0. So partner did bid 3-0, and now we bid 4 diamonds. That's for me a questionable bid, because now we are pushing it a bit too much, but definitely there is merit, because partner may have 5 diamonds, and now we've only made a picture bid showing 5-4-3, so partner knows we don't have 4 diamonds. And in this case, now West closed it in 4-0 trump because they only have 4 diamonds and they're not too excited. I think this is a relatively fine auction. I don't see any major problems with it. Probably I'll do very similar stuff. Daniel, what's your take
Totally
on this
agree.
hand?
Yeah, totally agree. I think East, yeah, I mean, both players, I think, have a few signs to maybe slow down a little. I mean, after the picture bid at the 4 level, West actually, their hand is not actually so bad. They have the ace of hearts opposite their partner's shortage, which is a good holding rather than like King Jack or something. But at the same time, both players are kind of minimum for their actions. And I think getting out in 4-0 trump is just fine. You know, if you look at the slip, yeah, it says 6 clubs makes because there's some, you know, miracle holding in diamonds where you actually take 4 diamond tricks. But I would expect most pairs to end in 3 or 4 no trump on a deal like this.
Because 2-0 and 3-0 was a weak no trump. Now, if
The
Leah
weakest
West had
bid, yeah.
5 diamonds, she should 100% go for the slam, having all these. But the problem is we don't have a fit. So without a fit, now nothing makes sense to go further, because it's nice to rough the hearts, but you're gonna lose the trump control. And although we now have a maximum over the 4 diamonds, the lack of fit should really put you off. I know that some people just look for an excuse to bid a slam, and although partner pushed 3 times, which is quite serious, we should still remain grounded and bid for no trump. However, if we do like the diamonds, instead of now you cannot beat 4-0 trump blackout because 4-0 trump can be only one thing. And I guess to some of you, 4-0 trump being for play is a bit weird, but that is the case. If we haven't really agreed a suit, because here all the diamonds were supported, fit was never really discovered, 4-0 trump is a stop bit. Therefore, if you really like what's going on with this hand, you bid either 4 hearts or 4 spades with Leo West, the first available control you have, and then partner bidding 4-0 will trigger this key card auction. So this is also another theoretical piece that you need to discuss with your partner. This is now slightly more complicated, and if it bothers you and if it's over the top for you, I advise you stop in 3-0, don't complicate it. But basically, Leah, who is bidding 4 diamonds, she does know that they may not have a slam and that they can stop in 4-0. They don't bid just like that. And if you haven't discussed it with your partner, you don't bid it like that and saying Stefan and Danny said it's okay, partner. These are things you need to discuss and come together with. Come up with some system agreement here. So moving forward to the last hand, most of the people are in 4 hearts. So let's have a look at these 4 hearts. Passed by west, passed by north, normal, 2 spades by east, also normal. And now south has a great hand, 16, 17 points. Jack of spades is not so much of a point. And a great heart suit. So there are various options here, especially if partner is a pass hand. We are unlikely to have a slam, so we can just blast 4 hearts, or we can bid 3 hearts, or we can double and then bid hearts, which means that you have a strong hand with hearts, but potentially if it doesn't escalate and you only bid double and 3 hearts, this can be passed. So in a way, this will describe your hand the best way possible. But on the other hand, with only 2 spades, you can think that they're bidding 3 or 4 spades here from west, and then you need to go much higher. So normally when you ask yourself, do I double to show a strong hand? The answer to this is the answer to the question, would I bid my suit at the 5 level if the auction escalates until I have another chance to bid? So for me, this is the golden rule, and that's how I decide to double. So at first I was disagreeing with 3 hearts and I thought double and 3 hearts is better. But then when I think twice, I feel West is highly likely to bid. And now I'm actually more leaning towards 4 hearts, which if partner is not a pass hand would be an absurd bid because you may miss a slam. So here I lean towards 4 hearts, but if you bid 3 hearts or double and 3, 4, 5 hearts, that's fine, because this is one of those hands where anything can be right or wrong depending on what West and North have. That's why I'm curious what's Danny's take on this hand.
Yeah, this is a tricky bid. I mean, you're a little bit heavy for 3 hearts for sure. Your heart suit is very good. You know, it could potentially take 5 or 6 tricks opposite a singleton. The danger of doubling, it goes like 4 spades on your left and partner bids 5 diamonds and you're like, oh great. At least I don't know. It's tough. I would be probably just a 3 heart bidder. I don't know. But there's 3 reasonable approaches. I think a 4 heart bid would maybe show a little bit more. Like you've got 8 tricks if you sort of catch perfectly. 3 little hearts, then they split, or the queen of hearts. If partners got their 2 tricks for you, they may raise 3 hearts to 4. So I don't know. Yeah, doubling and then bidding hearts is also reasonable. But I would tend to think that'd be a tiny bit stronger. I would just overcall 3 hearts myself. I understand it's a tiny bit heavy, but
and then they bid 3 spades, pass to you, then you're gonna bid 4 hearts.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
You're gonna pass like a chicken. Slow 4
exactly.
hearts.
I've made my bed probably.
Yeah, why I'm defending my 4 hearts bid is that I have such good hearts that when your main suit is good, they always think you have more than what you have.
Yeah.
Like I was coaching some juniors in Poland during the weekend, and one of them said, I didn't double because I thought if this guy has 7 and 6, they'll make it. I said, yes, they will, but you don't play them to have 7 and 6 in 2 suits, like 7 cards and 6 cards. So that's why people don't double you most of the time when you have a good suit and it's unclear auction. They always think you're longer. But if you beat 3 hearts followed by 4 hearts, now automatic double is coming in
Yeah, of
because they
course.
know you don't have enough. And now you can surprise them by making it. So anyway, Danny and I have different opinion, and that is totally fine because the hand is tricky, which means that often on a different scenario, different outcome will be the best. So if you chose any of our options or double and then some hearts, I don't think you've done a mistake at all. You've been sensible. So then what happens? 3 hearts, 3 spades. Uh, I don't, I'm not excited about this 3 spades bit. I don't have spade owner for the lead, and I'm just helping them to know that we have so many spades. So automatically, maybe 3 spades feels right, but I wouldn't do it. And then 4 hearts is quite normal. But if 3 spades was not here and it was a pass, then North can beat 3 spades followed by 4 hearts, meaning a good race, because they are a pass hand and they can not have much more than that. The ace of spades is gold because it blocks them cashing. By the way, 3 spades doesn't show the ace of spades or a control. Just 3 spades followed by 4 hearts is good race. Why I'm saying followed? Because at first 3 spades is asking for a stopper because North may not have hard fit. So they bid 3 spades asking for a stopper. North bids whatever they want. They have rather, and North bids 4 hearts then. So that's how the auction will go if West passes. And I think going further is not really exciting. Maybe, no, you cannot make a slam, only 5 makes, but reaching slam is not great at all because both hands don't have extreme shape shortages, and generally when you don't, you need more than 30 points to make it. With less than 30, you need shortness, long shoots, roughs, and stuff like that. So I think that's a normal outcome to end up in four hearts here and make about 10, 11 tricks. So you can see about the play, you have the ace of diamonds and the ace of spades. If they attack one of those suits, the other one will remain protected. Therefore, taking diamond finesse or diamond truffing finesse is safe, and you may get some losers away. And that's the best thing you can do here. Danny, any last words from you?
No, that's it for sure. You got to recognize the power of sort of the Jack 10-9 of diamonds on this deal. So like Stefan said, you can take a normal diamond finesse before, both of your ace of spades and ace of clubs are knocked out. And then you'll set up the tricks in diamonds to throw away, probably your clubs, right? They're going to lead a spade. You just win your ace, pull trumps, and play diamonds, whichever way you feel. And I note that if you do bid 4 hearts over 2 spades, apparently Leah goes crazy and gets you to slam. So somebody
Does she?
wasn't in on the joke. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine. You have an excuse. Your partner blew it. But those of you who
Yeah.
haven't played much with Leah, she's quite touchy and aggressive. So you should know that if you fire the spark and she just flies. So be careful with Leah. She's very aggressive. Also, you should know that you can choose your systems. Larry Cohen has 2 systems. And if you choose the more basic one, Leah is less aggressive. But I'm sure you want to play all conventions. So when you become better and better, the game moves levels up, and you go often, more often you go down, and that is natural, although it doesn't sound very sensible. Trust me, no worries at all. And when you play higher contracts, this really helps your declare play. So here, even if you reach 6 hearts, instead of being so upset about Leah's poor bidding, there are scenarios where you can make the contract, and you should think how it's possible. No matter how terrible the contract, first, there might be other people in it. And second, there is always very often 1% chance that you make it. Now, in this case, I would play diamond finesse this way because I need to score all the diamond tricks. And it's more likely Leah East is short in diamond. So I would finesse the diamond that way and I'll fail. But if the queen of diamonds is here, in Leah East, I'll make it. Of course, you can play for short queen in West, but that is less likely considering East already has 6 spades. This is just to give you an idea. Until it's over, it's never over. So just fight to make the maximum number of tricks, even if you
And
fail.
to show
Yeah.
what a random game bridge is, like if the south hand had a 3rd diamond and only 2 clubs, you know, the bidding would be exactly the same. Nobody mentioned clubs or diamonds in the bidding, but slam would actually be pretty good because if Leah had ace third of diamonds and ace doubleton of clubs, or sorry, the south hand, you know, you could finesse the diamond, cash the ace of diamonds, finesse the diamond again, and throw away your club or your spade. And you would take 6 hearts, 1 spade, 4 diamonds, and 1 club is 12. So it would basically be on a finesse. Whereas 6 hearts in this layout is actually not a great contract. You need a lot of luck in diamonds.
It's not a lot. People like us have needed a lot more luck in
Well,
other
we've needed more, but I
circumstances.
think
That's
you
moderate.
need 4 diamond tricks. I think even the roughing
Yeah.
finesse may not even be enough. Yeah, you need all 4 diamond tricks.
That's why I'm saying I'm finessing against Leah East, because her holding queen
Right,
doubleton
on the
or third is way
first
more
round.
likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I have 2 entries and I'm gonna use them. Okay, well, thank you, Danny, for joining us
No
again.
problem. Thanks everyone
Thank you
for coming.
to everyone who stayed for hour and 20 minutes. This must be the longest postmortem. We really try hard to replace Larry as well as possible. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. And next week it's Larry and Michael. So you can tell your friends to return. It's gonna be fun again.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. And
I'll be playing at a
Danny.
tournament. Hooray, hooray.
Okay,
Real
bye
bridge,
everyone.
yay. Take care, everyone.
Bye.